there are thousands of books on money, but not the way you say it, not the way you think of it, not the way you help your clients, not your origin story.
How would you define entrepreneurship?
You are finally in control of what you do, how you do it, when you do it, why you do it, and you pursue it.
How does someone, especially entrepreneurs, get over the self-doubt?
First, journal. See what's going on internally there.
You are an author many times over, as you mentioned. What have you learned throughout that process?
A lot of times people wait. Nike has just do it. I have just start it.
Let's get down to business.
Hey everybody, welcome to Prosperity Podcast. I'm your host, Candice Bar, and like every show, we are so excited for our guest today. If you're just coming on to us, we typically interview celebrities, well-known entrepreneurs, up-and-coming entrepreneurs, and I'm so happy to have Miss Ruth Klein with us today. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to be on this show forever.
Well, I was finally on your show, and I was so happy and excited about that. Thank you for having me.
Of course, that
Great
was
show.
fun.
Great
That was
show.
fun.
And so for anyone who may not know you, if they're living under a rock, when I explain you to people, I just say that you do all things books. You're the book queen.
I call it everything brands and books.
Okay.
Because you can't really write a really good book without knowing what your brand is or changing it or slightly making some changes. So it's everything brands and books because the book represents your brand. It represents the heart of who you are.
And since I've known you, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, we have.
Some people don't know that, but we know each other for a very long
Yeah.
time. And you've always been doing this. You're very successful at what you do. And you're very passionate about what you do in books. And so if an entrepreneur is watching, let's have you explain. I try to explain it, but I think it would be better coming from you. Why is having a book so important for your brand, especially as an entrepreneur?
That's a really good question, and I thank you for asking. That's a great question. So there's so much noise out there right now, so much noise, and there's so many talented, qualified, credible entrepreneurs, CEOs, visionaries, thought leaders, and that's what a book does. A book elevates you immediately to a level of thought leadership. What is thought leadership? Thought leadership is taking your ideas. Now, there are thousands of books on money, but not the way you say it, not the way you think of it, not the way you help your clients, not your origin story. And we want to know what that is. That's why all these books can still be published. And so the brand and the book represents who you are. I remember, I'm not going to say what the coffee shop is, but I didn't like the coffee shop because they were throwing out individual little coffee shops. But I was in Santa Barbara at the time, and I woke up really early. I needed my coffee. And so I went to this worldwide coffee shop, and I thought, well, at least it's coffee. And there was a book there by the owner of the coffee bar. And I picked it up because I love to read. I fell in love with that coffee brand because of that book, because I could relate to his story. Now, think about it. Think about the books that have made an impact in our lives. Why? Why have they made an impact? Some cases, books can save a life. In some cases, books can take us all over the world. Books can change the trajectory of our lives, of our relationships, of our business. So something is in alignment. Something speaks to you. And so that is what a book can do for the entrepreneur and help them immediately, just elevate them, boom, to thought leadership and to credibility, an extra dose of credibility. Of course they're credible, but the book makes the difference. I remember the first time my book was published, and someone called me from Texas to speak. And all of a sudden, from the day that I received the books were out, all of a sudden, I was now a thought leader.
Now people are
I
coming after you.
I was now an expert celebrity. I was now all those things. They were coming after me.
Instead of the other way around.
That's absolutely right. And so your book stands for who you are. It's the centerpiece of your business. And then from your book, you have that little whatever you're going to do from there. You've got programs or social media, all of that. And that is why you need to know your brand, because in the center is you and it's your brand and your mission statement and what you really want to accomplish and the impact you want to make with that book, which is I'll call it the vehicle to get you to all the other places you want to go.
Now, entrepreneurs, as you know, are busy. We're busy running the company. We're busy doing business.
Yeah.
How would someone take the time? They have a book in them. They've been wanting to write this thing. They've been wanting to get it out. They haven't had the time.
Right.
What would you suggest to them? How do they
Okay.
do this?
Two things, time and self-doubt. They go hand in hand, because sometimes we'll say, I don't have time, but what's really going back there? Who's going to listen to me? What do I really have to say? I don't think anyone's going to really pick it up. Why should I spend all that time to write the book? So they're happy cousins. And so, but in terms of the time issue, because we can talk about the others also, but in terms of the time issue, you can simply record. Just verbally record in the computer, on a phone, have it transcribed. You see, there's a caveat to that, because a lot of people who want to write books, they kind of like just throw up on the page, because they don't know what it's about. They don't know where it wants to go. They don't know how it can help them. They don't know they don't know the strategy. They don't know the structure, and they just kind of put it out there. And those are the books that end up on shelves, that nothing happens. If your book is not attracting a minimum of $10,000, you could even do that before the book is published, because you want to start marketing the first month
1,000,000%.
after writing your book. Starting to write your book after 1 month, at least with my clients, they know exactly what they're going to be talking about and what's in the book, and they're going to do rewrites, because they're going to get better and better and better with that singularity. And then they start telling people about it. This is a really low-hanging fruit marketing idea. I'll have my clients in their email signatures just put the name of the book, coming out spring 2027, for example. They don't know. I even had a different name for the book. I had a different cover for the book when I did that. I was pre-selling my book a year and a half before my book was published.
I was pre-selling my book before I even wrote one word of it.
Yeah.
And it's allowed. You can do it.
You can do it. I'm working on a parenting book now. Most of them have been business and development and personal development. This is a parenting book. And I'm already putting together a parenting lab. And I have people in the parenting lab, and of course they're going to want to buy the book. So yes. But so that's why you need someone ideally to help you. Not an English teacher who knows English. They're wonderful, but you need someone who's around books.
What that thing is.
You
need a financial advisor, you get a financial advisor.
Exactly. And you get the financial advisor that makes money for people. And you get the book coach. I'm actually called a developmental book coach, because I take the ideas. So we start from wherever we just kind of talk to me, and then we start there. And get someone who actually works with authors who make the $10,000, $20,000, the high tickets, getting the financial. I have a financial thinking right now. Speaking of financial, I have a client, and her book brought in a lot more clients, and she ended up being asked to write articles. For newspapers, for a column. And so that's where the leverage is. That's where figuring it out before, having the strategy and the structure. And I am a book purist. A book purist. And so my books are traditionally published. which means they give me an advance. I don't pay them.
Right.
And I am looking for traditional publishers. I have 2 already that are waiting for me to send them the manuscript of a client that I think would be worthy of being traditionally published. And I use the word worthy, not because they're not worthy, not because they're not worthwhile, but the book has to have strategy. It has to have structure. It has to be well written. And then I'm going to send it to the publishers.
You brought up something earlier that I want you to touch on for sure. How does someone, especially entrepreneurs, because everyone who watches my show, they're mostly entrepreneurs, get over this self-doubt? Because you're great at mindset, you're great at coaching on mindset. How do you get over this self-doubt piece to move forward?
Okay, great question. I want to share something with you. I was, something wasn't in alignment. So no matter how confident you are, you're going to have self-doubt moments, and they may be longer than moments. They may be days, months, and hopefully not a year. But they will show up. So just accept it. Just know that that's the case. That happened to me. And I people saw me this way, and I saw myself this way. See the difference there? And I thought, what's going on? So I'm a big one to journal. And so I journaled, and I used a little AI and asked the right prompts. And what came back is identity lag. Identity lag. And so I've shared that with a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's like, yes. I had written 5 books, 5 traditionally published, and I was walking on 3rd Street in Santa Monica, and the Barnes & Noble window, and all of a sudden I went, because my picture was there and my books were there. I was going to have a signing at some other time. And I thought to myself, I'm an author, not just a writer.
Right.
And that's identity lag.
Yeah, sometimes we don't see ourselves the way that maybe we should.
Exactly. So first journal. See what's going on internally there. What came up is that someone who has humility and something else that happens to a lot. And so you want to be cognizant of that, because that's where the self-doubt comes in. Because people see me like this, but I'm not as financially successful as they think I am, or I don't have as many clients as they think I am. And they, all this stuff, and you think, why? What's going on there?
Right.
When you think, the moment you think, I wonder why, that is a tap on the shoulder to start journaling in quiet, because quite honestly, the answer is always, always inside us. Always.
You and I have talked a few times before on the importance of routine, especially our morning routines. Can you share your morning routine and why that's so important for you as an entrepreneur, and more importantly, as a creative? Because first and foremost, entrepreneurs are creative.
Yes, 100%. So not everyone has high energy in the morning. That's got to be tough. But I'm going to talk to your audience about people that are ready to go in the morning. Okay? And even if you're not, you still could use parts of this. So I guard my mornings. I guard them. I don't speak to clients. I don't do discovery sessions. I don't go to meetings unless it's really, really something that I want to do just for fun, or it's a good business idea. And I immediately have my coffee and I journal. And it is a gorgeous ritual. It's a gorgeous ritual. Although, most recently, 2 of my coffee pots went kaput. It went kaput. Like within hours of each other. And so I've been leaving the house, going to get my coffee, and doing everything at the coffee shop. And I have to admit, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a pain, but I wear the same, the same pants, the same sweatshirt, and I just go. Sometimes I brush my teeth, sometimes I don't. And I get there and I just start writing, and I take care of, I just set my nervous system.
That's
I
it.
calm my nervous system because I have so much going on. And the night before, as these things come up, and I don't want to put it in my notebook, which I carry a notebook and I use that all the time, I'll write it down on a piece of paper, a big piece of paper. And in the morning, I take that piece of paper and I bring it when I start planning my day. Now, my day is pretty planned, but not really, because with today's fast back and forth, things come up.
Yeah.
And I used to worry that if I didn't write it down the night before, I would lose it. And it's not true.
Yeah.
For me, it's not true. Why? Because I've calmed my nervous system. And things come to me like, oh, yeah, I need to contact so-and-so. Oh, that's right. I can do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
It's, oh man, it's wonderful. And I bring my Wall Street Journal. Do not talk to me. Do not bother me. Don't look at me. And it's wonderful.
That's my gym time. Gym time. I won't do classes. I don't speak to people at the gym. Do not speak to me at the gym. Like, this is my time.
Yeah.
That's, I can go for very long walks,
Right.
listen to whatever. You have to set the day.
Right. You have to set
And you're in
the
control of
day.
that. You are in
Yes.
control of that.
Yes.
How would you define entrepreneurship?
How would I define entrepreneurship? I would, I guess there's many, many different ways, but the way that I would define it is that you are finally in control of what you do, how you do it, when you do it, why you do it, and you pursue it. And you know that you're not getting a steady check in the mail. You're not getting a steady check. And so it becomes so important, imperative, that you have direction, you have alignment, and every day, once or twice a day, you calm your nervous system. You've got to be able to regulate it, because if you don't take control of your calendar, others will.
1,000,000%.
If you don't take control of your mission, others will. If you don't take control of the telephone, the ding-a-ling will. You've got to be so focused on where you're going, why you're going there, why you're even in business,
Right.
what your goals are. But I'm going to share something with you. Just as important as that, on that side, for an entrepreneur, anyone, but an entrepreneur particularly, is there is an what I would call an other self. And that other self is your spirit, is your soul, is that gut that when you do something you don't, and it doesn't feel right.
Right.
You got to check that out,
Right.
not just ignore it. If your business is something, if things in the business aren't working out, go over here. If relationships aren't working out, go over here. If you find that clients get upset with you, or they quit at a certain time frame, go over here. Rather than blame, go out, go to this other self. If you prompt the soul, it is far greater, far stronger, far faster, far better, far deeper than any AI could ever be or will be.
1,000,000%.
And I love AI, but there are some things that you cannot delegate out,
Right.
or delegate out fully to.
You are an author many times over, as you mentioned. And so your books that you're writing now or have written recently, and looking back on the books that you wrote maybe in the beginning, what have you learned throughout that process of writing all those books and helping others write theirs? So many clients write theirs.
You got to have strategy, got to have structure, and you got to start marketing. And you can't stand behind your book. You have to stand beside it.
Right. Have you ever had a client? Can you share a client win at any point in your business? And have you ever had a client, because there are difficult clients. We've all had several difficult clients that you were just like, I don't know if we can continue working together.
I've had two.
Okay.
I had to fire them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's a real thing.
It is a real thing. They're not coachable. They're not listening. And other things. And this is why I always talk to the person, a potential client, because energetically, I have to know if it's a fit.
Right.
And I will no longer work with someone where it's not a fit.
Right.
And, there's, a number of people that have come to me and we were talking and, I asked them, what would you like to do with this book? And they tell me what they like to do. And I said, well, that's not the book that's going to get you over here. I get people upset with me. I get people upset with me. And there's one that she called me 3 years later and said, are you the Ruth Klein that works and helps people write books and get book deals? I said, yes. She goes, I have to come see you. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah. But she came. I'm in a security building. She came and she just started crying. 3 years later, she said, Ruth, you were right. I wasted 3 years. I just, one of my God-given talents is I can talk to them for 20 minutes. I either have them in tears, which I don't mean to, but I'm speaking to them, a part of them that they don't realize.
Right.
And I can see the book. I can see not only the book, I can see their whole career. So I've had to learn to sit on my hands because I can overpower someone with all these ideas and they're so not there yet.
It freaks them out. I understand. Yes. Yeah, that's something with entrepreneurship, especially when you hone your skill and you know what you're doing at a certain point. It can freak people out because they just can't see it.
They just can't see it. There's another gal I'm thinking right now who had a book coach, had it published, and she was going to get a publicity firm. And someone, she's out of the country, someone referred her to me. I was talking to her 20, 30 minutes. She sent me her book, and I said, I am so sorry. This book doesn't, and nothing was happening to it. So people know that if you want something to happen with your book, contact me. And nothing was happening. And I said, I'm so sorry, but this book does not represent you, number one, and it's not gonna get you to where you want to go. But you don't understand, Ruth. I had a book coach, I published it, and I'm gonna get a publicity firm. And I thought, please don't get the publicity firm. And she didn't, and she worked with me, and she had her first $10,000 weekend.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That segues me into how important is having a coach?
Essential.
Yeah.
When I was younger, Candice, I used to think, how is it that Olympians had coaches? They're so good. Why would they have coaches? And then as I got older and was learning all this stuff, I thought, wow, the best of the best always have coaches.
Always.
The best of the best. And the people who want to be the best for themselves in their arena have coaches.
Yes.
And the other thing that I would share there too, just for entrepreneurs, it takes money to make money.
1,000,000%.
We have said that. We've said that. We've heard that. But don't expect someone to work with you for $10,000, $20,000 when you're afraid to spend $8,000 for a coach. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Right in the money.
And
Yes.
I have learned that over and over again. And I'm fortunate that I know that. And one time I took money out of a CD. I took $10,000 out of a CD, schlepped over to the East Coast for a weekend, but I knew I needed to be in the room. And I lost, some of the interest. Oh, well, I knew that I would make it up. And I met people at that conference. I made
Probably
So much more.
Yes.
So
'Cause you
much
have
more.
Here's the thing: you have to bet on yourself.
You have to bet on yourself, and you have to be in the room with the people,
The right
that are
people.
like you. And they're the ones that invest in themselves, because when people invest with me, they're not investing in me, they're investing with me,
Right.
but they're investing in themselves. I had a client referral who took out tens of thousands of dollars from her savings account, and she didn't have a job at the time. And now
That's called betting on yourself. Welcome to
boy,
entrepreneurship.
and that's what she said. She said, I feel that working with you is a better investment than keeping it in the bank.
1,000,000%.
And then I thought, oh my God, I better do
because it has to
a good
move. The
job.
money has to move. The energy has to move.
That's
the ideas
right.
have to move. Things have to move. We have
That's
to go.
right.
I've had 3 PR clients take out loans to work with me. So you have to invest in people worth investing in.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Look at
And
the receipts. Look at the receipts.
Look at the receipts. But and here's a piece though that cannot be under thought of, and that is we are now living in a trust recession, and so much of it is because so many different coaches, financial, all this did not do anything really for the clients, and so they're kind of shy now. They're just kind of a little bit shy, and it's it's my responsibility to seek you out and check you out. And if I do that, I'll be fine.
Also, ask the right questions. A lot of people don't even know what questions to ask. And just
Right.
because your best friend worked with that person does not mean that person's for you.
Right.
So with that, I actually wanted to go into, with coaching, because I've had to tell a few people this. I didn't know who they were talking about. They had hired coaches. They had a bad experience according to them. I asked them, well, what's a good experience to you? What were you expecting them to do? Were you expecting them to totally change your life? Like, what do you want this person to do for you? What were you not doing? Were you taking all their advice? Like, the person hiring also has a hand in that as well. So my idea with coaches is, and I have invested a lot of money with coaches, and I'm happy I did it. No problem.
Me
I don't
too.
even think about it. I don't care
Yeah.
about it. And you continue to have coaches as you level up, and your coaches have to change and they have to be different as you level up. You cannot have the same coach you had 10 years ago.
That's right.
You should not be doing that.
That's right.
But I always say, if this person, I don't care how long the time frame was, if it was a weekend, if it was a VIP day, if it was 6 months, 8 months, a year, I don't care how long it was. If that person said one sentence in the whole time working together that changed my mentality in a positive way and changed how I moved and changed the trajectory, it was worth it for me. I don't
Yeah.
care how much it was.
Right.
So I think the expectations, you need to know why you're hiring that person. What do you want out of this person? Like, what do you do? Are you, like you said, are you coachable? Because some people think they are and they're actually not.
Right.
So they can pour into you all they like, but if you're not doing anything with it, it's your problem.
And the second part to that is the coach can only do so much.
1,000,000%.
You've got to implement stuff. And a lot of times people wait. Nike has just do it. I have just start it. You don't know the questions to ask until you start it.
1,000,000%.
And so people are asking all these questions. And I go, just start. And then let's have a conversation.
We were talking last night. We went to an event together, and we were talking about someone about their book, and we're like, "What are you waiting for? Like, how much time do we really have?
Oh, man.
how much time do we have here?
Right.
No one's guaranteed anything. So if
Right.
you're thinking of having a book or writing a book or anything like that, and you've been thinking about it, or it's good for your business, it's going to be good for your brand. You may not even know what you might want to write in the book, but you
Right.
should have it as a product, as a professional. You need to just do it and hire someone like what you do. Hire someone that you trust to guide you along the way, who knows what they're doing.
Right. And who's done it. Find if you want to have a traditional publisher, find the book coach who's an author, who's had their books traditionally published, not just read about it,
Right.
not just went to a seminar about it, but they know what's required in, let's say, a book proposal. That's how the books get bought. That's how literary agents decide that, yes, I think I can sell it. I'll represent you. Go to the person, the financial, we're talking about financial, go to the person who is wealthy.
The one showing results. You're typically not gonna go to a personal trainer that's not fit.
Right.
It's not gonna happen unless that's your goal.
Exactly. Or someone, yeah, exactly. I could take that to a whole nother level. But exactly. Yeah. And so they've, my coaches, you want to look for coaches that live who they are.
Yes.
They live who they are
Yes.
from here, not just information from here. And I think that's where the trust recession really has been hit hard, because people have gone to coaches, regurgitate it, and throw it out there.
What are your thoughts on, we're speaking on coaches, what are your thoughts on, I call it an epidemic of these coaches, standing in front of the Lambo that they rented for the photo shoot, or like the whole swarmy kind of social media BS with coaches. Like, I'm on the beach drinking a margarita, I'm in front of my Lambo, all this, and it's all rented. None of it's actually theirs.
So
it's a fake life.
Yeah, it's, again, you've got to check them out.
Yeah.
You've got to check them out. A lot of people like that. They want to know someone's life and all of that. But what you're saying is something where they're just renting the backdrop, or they're renting a space, that has that. That's tough, because if you've got to live it. All I can say is you've got to live it. And if you're in a studio and you live it, more power to you. But I think we need to find our vendors, our professionals, our everything, and check them out. Check them out and see if they live it. They breathe it. So, and when you find that coach or that financial person or the vendor or whomever, they'll just be talking to you, just as you said earlier, and you'll go, and all of a sudden you'll get chills.
Yeah.
You'll get chills because they're talking from here, from experience, from who they are, from how they're going to help you, versus from here. We feel it. But sometimes we want a coach, or we want the financial person, or we've heard such good things about them, so we really, really want them. That happened to me.
Yeah.
That happened to me with a coach.
Yeah.
And I did not do my due diligence.
What do you have coming out now that we can look forward to?
In terms of a book?
Yes.
A parenting book.
I mean, we did say
Although, and it's really to gently and lovingly reparent parents, so that there's it's a tough job to be a parent. And in today's world, with everything that's going on, and as quickly as it's going on, and what children are learning, and all of the AI and the social media, I mean, it's not easy. It's never been easy, but it's really intricate now. And there are things you can do, just as you can control your mornings. You can control your health. You can control what you're eating. You can control the coach that you hire. You can control a lot of what's happening within your home to make it a loving, harmonious home, so that everyone, when they think of going home, they think it's a safe harbor. They're not going to be criticized. They're not going to be yelled at. They're going to be supported. The mom and the dad, they're going to look at you when you speak. It is one of the highest forms of respect you can give anyone, let alone a child. And even if you don't agree, all you have to do is say, "That's interesting. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?"
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it takes intention. It takes mindset, and we're busy. So in the book, I share how to regulate the nervous system for mom and dad and the children, to help the parents help the children regulate. Because, for the longest time, I didn't write a parenting book, even though I had been asked over 20 years ago, but I thought it would confuse my clients because I'm in business.
Right.
And then I realized that my most recent book, Generation Why Not? 7 Principles to a More Purposeful Business and Life, driven by attitude, not age, was the book that bridged it all together. Because now when I work with adults, I'm helping them regulate their nervous system. I'm helping them see and elevate past their limiting ideas and thoughts. Now, what if we could do it over here?
Yeah.
And they, and we're human and we're still going to have some, but what if we have 10% less, 30% less? What a difference it's going to make in the quality of relationships, of your life, of your health.
Tony Robbins, I think him and Sage recently, maybe 5 years ago, adopted a daughter. And, everyone knows Tony.
Yep.
You can think whatever you like about him. Very successful person. That's non-negotiable.
I love him.
Non-negotiable. And he said, he built a huge empire, amazing for him, love it. And he said, I built all this with Sage, and we didn't have children, and he didn't want children for a long time. And then he's like, but then you're an amazing business person, but then it stops when you die. And it's like, what did I do all this for? And so I have always said, if you want to know someone's character, you should look at their children.
100%. Yeah. It could go either way, but generally speaking,
I think there's odds to it. If you have, in my mind, if you have 3 kids, you might have one that's off the rails.
And that's just normal, because each child is a different human, has a different soul, perceives things differently. Years ago, when we had 3 young children, I told my husband, we may be going to 3 different schools, and I was fine with that because each child learns differently, each child perceives differently, and how they take in and absorb knowledge might be different. At one time, they were at 3 different schools. Wow. And then finally I found one where all 3 of them did very, very well. They loved it. But yeah, they're all different, and we have to look at it like that. I was working with a mom I also work with coaching. I do soul-centered coaching, I call it, with anxiety, and sometimes with adolescents. And unfortunately, the mom took it to heart, which I understand, but it wasn't really about her.
Right.
It was really about how her very sensitive, beautiful child, talented child, saw the world and absorbed the energy in the world. So she just needed kind of open, kind of an open window. Oh, okay. Now what can I do there? And so we started this. I love this. I'll have this in the book. Would you, your child said XYZ, and then I'm going to say, would you like me to interpret that? Because that's what I used to say to her. So when the daughter would say something, I would say, do you want me to reinterpret that for you? She goes, please do. Yeah.
Now, you have a show as well.
I do.
That I got to be on. Thank you again.
Yes, thank goodness.
And your show, you interview authors, typically. And so when do you have your show? How can they find you? All the things.
All the things. So the name of the show is The Book Club with Ruth Klein. And they can find me on Roku, Apple, Samsung Plus. And they're streaming, and it's on the network called McCord List Network. So go to Roku, McCord List Network, look at The Book Club with Ruth Klein. And then it's also leveraged as podcasts, but it's first a TV show, leveraged as a podcast on all podcast platforms.
What is your website?
www.ruthklein.com, and
Beautiful.
Klein is Klein.
And then on social media?
Instagram is ruth.klein.
Beautiful. Thank you for taking the time.
This was fun.
I know you flew out yesterday to come to an event, which was lovely. And then I'm so happy we got to have you in person, because I hate doing things over Zoom.
Me
so
too.
Thank you for taking the time.
Me too.
Be sure to check out Ruth. Contact her. Do you do DMs?
Of
do
course.
DMs? Okay.
Yeah.
DM her. Go on her website. Fabulous. Love her. Again, thank you so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
Huge honor. Lovely. Love you. Love you. Love you. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. And we will see you all again next week. Bye, everybody.